Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome, and if you're an oldie but a goodie, welcome back. We're doing our fourth video on how to do this budget on your count your coins. So if you like watching these kind of videos, keep on watching. All right, so a few days has gone by. This is pretend days because we're not in March. But now things are coming through, or you're spending money on your sinking funds or in your cashless sinking funds. So what you do next is clearly you're going to go into your bank account. You're going to have it up on the screen. So usually what we do, we are ahead of the game. So I think we explained this on video 2, where we sacrificed, I believe, for a couple of months to gain the amount we need to pay all of our bills, to be able to pay things ahead of time. So every time we start our budget, the beginning of the month, we always have more than $8,000 a month, because that's how much we need to pay every single bill that comes in, basically, to pay it out. Now, not everybody obviously can do that. You have to sacrifice a lot to do that. If you have enough money in the bank account, you can do that. Good for you. Not everybody can. And if you're living paycheck by paycheck, that's fine too. You can actually just do it. So what happens is, let me bring the book over, because I don't do it paycheck by paycheck, but paycheck by paycheck, all it means is if you get paid Friday, that paycheck is paying anything that's going into the next Friday. So you can either highlight it and specify what you want to pay, or sorry. So if you get paid every Friday, whatever shows up on this paycheck, because we're doing March, this will pay all of these bills. Then when you get paid this Friday, it would pay the bills that follow up to the next Friday. Let's say you get paid every 2 weeks. So this one is highlighted, as I explained, I think in video 2. You can highlight it that this paycheck clearly paid for everything up to the next one when you get paid every 2 weeks. And then when this paycheck comes, it pays for everything in the next 2 weeks until the next paycheck comes, then it pays the next 2 weeks, and so forth, right? Because don't forget, once you figure out what you're doing in your sinking funds, that is automatically being direct deposited. This is why we separate our accounts, and we don't put everything into one account, because we want our sinking funds to be strictly direct deposited every single time, so everything can get funded without damaging anything. The main account basically is for all the bills and anything extra, and then that's how you end up wanting to either pay your bills down plus your debt, or if you're out of debt, then you can put that money into savings. So we go ahead of the game, obviously, but if you do a paycheck by paycheck, this is how it would go. So I hope you can see this, and I think I explained it on video 2, where the last paycheck of the month, because I get paid twice a month, so I get paid on the 15th and I get paid on the last day of the month. So I took the February last paycheck and put it here, and I had started with $14.92.36, because this is showing, like, let's say I'm starting from the get, and I just got the book and I'm starting from the get-go, right? So my balance starting is that paycheck. So I started with the $14.92.36. Then after that, expenses started popping up, which it was bills and some debt that came out. And then we did minimum on the debt. So once these came out, I had the $14.92. We had the WEC that came out, life insurance, the Best Buy, the UI, and the Progressive, which it was that first week that came out, which it was everything that I had highlighted. Obviously, then I had 862 remaining, Then that following week, we had deposits come in, because don't forget that was only that 1 week. Then we had more money coming in. So you put in your direct deposits in. Then we had WPCA, and I had the Ford that came in. Now this one was, from the looks of it, I think it was paycheck by paycheck, which is weekly if you got paid weekly. Then by the 11th, which it was my next pay period that was coming up, I ended up adding all the deposits that came in. And then I went in and took out all the expenses, which all the bills that came in after the 11th, which it was all of the ones in orange, right? Yep, all the ones in orange and so forth. So I showed a sort of scenario of if it happens paycheck by paycheck, but we do things ahead of time or ahead of the game. And we sacrificed a couple of months of groceries. We ate with whatever was in the house. If we didn't have any meat, then so forth, we just scrambled and saved up all the money we could have just to get ahead of the game. That's something you have to figure out and, try to, I guess, save up as much as you can, basically. I think we ended up scrapping like 2 months of Christmas gifts, and we transferred it to the main, and we also did like 2 months of scrapping without doing any groceries except for necessary items like fresh fruit, milk, cream, cheese, deli, that kind of stuff. But we didn't buy any meat. We didn't buy like any more additional pasta or any more additional rice, like that kind of stuff. And whatever was left at the end of the month, we transferred it to the main just to have enough money to do this part of being ahead. So now every time we start, the first thing we do is we reduce all of our bills that are supposed to come in, which is the UI, life insurance, the WPCA, which is our water, the Marcus. We're able to take out all of our bills. Green Sky, Sunrun, Progressive, Ford, Southern Connecticut Gas, the life insurance, the donation, Frontier, Vivint, which is our security. Then we have T-Mobile. We have the 21st mortgage. We have also, then we did minimum payments on some of the debt. 4854. It looks like I ended up double paying on some of these. And then we always leave a cushion of the 500. So this is where we end up, we always use our register as our budget. So as you go down and you start with the 8350, and then you put all your expenses in and you reduce the amount. I need to go check on my fries. Okay. So here is where we use our register as our actual budget sheet, if you want to call it. So you start with your beginning balance, and then you start reducing all the bills, right? Do all the bills first. Some of these debts that we have actually are already in a minimum payment. automatic payment, if that's what you want to call it. If we want to pay extra, we can, but it's not one of our smaller debts because we do smallest to largest. So when it gets to us paying those extra, then we just have to throw an extra payment if we want, and that would be online if we wanted to, but they already on an auto payment kind of thing. 32. All right. Bill. So these are all bills. Donation. Bill. 59.99. Bill. 27.25. T-Mobile is a bill. So T-Mobile, we usually don't know the amount. It's always around. We always keep the cushion for T-Mobile because it's usually not that specific. This is a debt because it's a mortgage. 11/30/10. And then here are the debt, right? So you have debt, 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 and debt, right? So once you start reducing the amount of what you have on your balance from all your bills, so you start subtracting from all the current bills, 305, 5286, 16106, 497, 132, 3395, 100, 59.99, 27.25, 221.44, and the 11/30/10, because that's the mortgage. We have a remainder of $4,657.14. Now here is where you can either put it into savings or toss it into debt, right? Because it's up to you on what you want to do. All right. So we have a remaining of $4,657.14. I just need to keep a cushion of the 500, and that's mainly for T-Mobile, the water, and our solar system, because those three are the only ones that fluctuate up and down. I usually just take the number from the prior month and then I automatically adjust it because I keep the 500 cushion when they do eventually actually come in. So I have $4,100 to play around with, to either throw to our debt or to save it. But as you guys know, we're going through our Tennessee journey. So we alternate. Some months we do the whole thing to the savings, and sometimes we end up throwing it to the debt. So this month we decided to throw it to the debt. So we sent money to some of these debts that we have here. Is what we ended up doing. And then my ending balance after this was, so if I go, oh, it erased, 4657.14 minus 600 minus 3700 It was 357.14. Then on 3/4, actually we transferred some. 242.61. I got 599.75. So that's our cushion. And then that's how we do our budget, basically. Instead of in a separate sheet putting your income, your expenses, and all that stuff, I just use the same register to do the same thing. I think that's like a waste of paper, but not everybody's the same. So you got to figure out which way works best for you, right? I want to say the same way will be, so obviously we do it this way because we pay ahead of the game. If you were doing it on this sort of paycheck by paycheck, you would have to wait to the end of the month to actually see how much you had left in order to pay off either your debt or transfer it to savings. But it's the same concept, right? You just, like for me, it would be the end of the month paycheck that I will leave for the next 2 weeks to pay off bills. So whatever balance I have prior to that is where I would use for debt or transfer to savings. I find it easier this way because all the money just comes out for all of my bills, and I don't have to steal from Peter to pay Paul. The other thing is, you got to remember that when you do this, you already have everything direct deposited into each account. So like we have our direct deposit and anything extra come into our main account, and we already have the portion for our sinking funds going into that account automatically from our direct deposits, plus our single personal ones are also direct deposited, so that we don't have to transfer anywhere. So that's like our entertainment spending kind of money, that goes automatically to that account, which is, I think it's 150, or yeah, 150. We get 200, I think, a month for just spending entertainment kind of thing. And in the beginning we didn't have that because we had so much debt. So technically now we have the extra because we're out of debt, and we have actually in an okay position to give ourselves, you know, entertainment money and that kind of stuff. So you got to work, you know, you got to work the ladder, people, in order to get there. Now let's go into the sinking funds, and it's the same concept of the sinking funds. As you spend, you're supposed to take it out of your envelopes. So let's go, and I have a savings challenge for each bucket that gets transferred automatically. $90 that goes into a savings account. So I didn't start with $10 a bucket. I think I started with like $1, worked my way up to $5. Then now we're worked our way up to $10 each bucket, or each envelope. We take out $10 and put it automatically to a savings account that we don't see often. So we don't even know how much money is in there. I don't even know how much money is in there. Right now it's just a savings challenge. If I ever need that money, I can just go there and see how much we have and transfer it out if we need be. So let's say so the savings challenge came out, the medical came out, and we went grocery shopping. That came out. And now you're going to reduce the amounts from your balance, right? So you got 37.69.60. But then now you can go in and highlight, which this is my favorite part. I like to highlight. My medical is blue. Groceries is pink. And it just makes it easier to look at for when you're putting them in each envelope. So groceries, every envelope gets reduced by 10 bucks for the savings challenge. Now, clearly the concept of this is you're not supposed to obviously use this account if the money is not there. So if the 10, clearly membership did not have the money in there, I couldn't use that challenge for the membership. I would have to take it somewhere else. And if I didn't have no money in my groceries, technically I shouldn't be grocery shopping if you don't have the money. So here, groceries, we did $18.99, but clearly I do have money. We have $487. And then the medical, we paid this medical place 70 bucks. Then I have $309. So the concept of this is that it's cashless because you're not walking around with a million envelopes to figure out what you're buying. But you are supposed to be, I hope you are manageable enough where you're not stealing from Peter to pay Paul. So that means I have $458.79 left to spend in groceries. Now I need to reduce the $10 savings from each envelope, but I'm not going to torture you through that. And then now the medical, we had the 309.86 is what I started with, and then I need to reduce the 10 for the savings challenge, and I need to reduce the 70 for the medical, which leaves me with medical balance of $229.86. basically. So I have still $229.86 in my medical to go and do anything medical related. Now, if you didn't have the money in there, you can't do that. But the concept is to be cashless so you're not walking around with a bunch of envelopes, basically. We had a lot of envelopes. We kept them technically in the house, but it was kind of creepy, and we decided not to do that anymore. And we sort of came up with the cashless. Took a while, but the cashless envelope, I did have it together at one point, like one account, but and then once you have everything in one account, I feel like you can keep track of it, and you do steal from Peter to pay Paul because, you know, the money is there. So we decided to separate it. And then that's it for the concept. So after that, now you know how much you have left in each envelope. Now, the other thing is, I totally forgot to show you that technically we have the balances of each envelope. We forgot to do this. This should have been on video 3. You're supposed to put all of your sinking funds in here, one by one. So we have grocery, taxes, membership, car, Christmas, clothing, home, medical, other, and we also have the savings because we have the savings challenge that we've been doing. Now here I put what we fund every month, and the reason for that is because I believe you should, if you're a beginner, you should check that you're funding enough every 6 months or so until you get into the mojo of things. And I'm not saying that it's easy. You will fail. You will fall off the wagon a couple of times, but the challenge is you getting back in that wagon so you can get out of debt. So my suggestion to you is get back on if you fall. Your prior month is the same concept. You have to go to the prior month to see what was the total that you have. And that's the total that goes into your prior month before you begin. So our prior month balances, and this is how much you're spending from your prior month. Not your balances, but how much you spent for the month in each envelope. So this is, so it can be easy at the end of the year or every 6 months for you to check to see if you're staying within your budget or are you overspending. Now, we already got used to it, so we're okay. But if you're overspending and you are getting into a habit of stealing from Peter to pay Paul, my suggestion is you're going to have to cash it out and put the physical cash into envelopes, because you don't have that willpower to not swipe that credit card. So even though it's a checking credit card, but it's still a credit card. And since you don't have that willpower, my suggestion is you're going to have to take out the money cash physically, put it in an envelope, and whenever you go grocery shopping, just take that envelope with you, because then you know that you only have $200 for grocery shopping. So if you get to the register and there's $212, you're going to have to take something out because you only have $200 cash. You're not going to just swipe the credit card and spend $12 from your taxes to pay off the $12 from your groceries. So that's the whole concept. You got to have the willpower. If you don't have the willpower, you're going to have to take out the money and do cash. We did it for a couple of years that we did the physical cash, but as I became more willpower of not swiping the credit card, we were able to do cashless. That's why this is called cashless sinking funds, because we have the willpower to not swipe the credit card and overspend. Now, when you end up on your current month, what happens is you have to calculate how much you spent. And the easiest way to do that, and I explain it every single time in every single video, is you take the bottom number and you subtract it from the top number, and that gives you how much you spent. So if we did the 229.86 minus the 309.86, is going to show that it's $80, and that's how much you would put here for your current spending. It's $80. And then what happens is you're going to have to take the 265 plus the 80, and then that becomes your new total number that's going to start your prior month to April. So the more we do this, and the more you watch the videos, the more you'll understand. But for right now, that's it. Thank you for watching. God bless. Don't forget to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.